Yo guys, what's up? Shadow here and welcome to another episode of Monster Train. And today, well, success is today because I actually recorded two of my games here. Both have a similar theme and both are very successful. So here is the first run. As you can see, we start off with Imps, this Molten Encasement, and Rage Serum, so a bit of a spread. Our primary clan is the champion is the Imp Queen, as you can see here. And here I decide, instead of going Imps, I'm going on the Rally ability, which gives her plus 10 attack every time I summon something, and then I get the double summon artifact, which is quite nice. So it's an interesting start, because we're not committing to Imps, and basically what we're committing to is summoning lots of units, but the direction is not yet clear. But there you go. And here you can see the Imps, of course, now they're like double as good as before, because now the Molten Imp definitely would deal 10 damage every time it's summoned. Queen Simpling 20 damage to a single target. It's quite a nice start. It's not defining the play, but this guy will. So basically both of my runs that you will see today are stealth runs. So stealth stacking runs, which is extremely efficient against bosses. So this guy, every time he gets killed, he applies stealth 2 to all other creatures, which means for 2 turns they cannot be attacked. So that is pretty decent, but right now it's not quite clear yet how we're gonna go about this. So here I'm deciding to get another one of these Imps, and here I get the second Molten Encasement, which is quite nice. Now I'm gonna try and get some more interesting stuff here from the Remnant, but honestly both of these not really that good, so I decide to skip. And then for creature improvements, we have a quick improvement here, but honestly none of our creatures are really fighters. The only thing that I would like is an Endless, for example, but I don't really want to gamble too much here with my money. So there we go. Next fight we should still be able to do this, is my thinking. I'm also activating the trial here for the unit draft, because we shouldn't do too much fighting, we're more about summoning. Here is the Molten Encasement. I'm also putting a Train Steward on, or rather, no, a Queen Simpling. Sorry, it's been a while since I've recorded these, so yeah. So just a Queen Simpling, and then the healer, we can just let this guy go pretty much. He will not do much up there anyway. There we go, there's the 10 damage to everybody, and then the Rage on the Queen, and she's just gonna start killing. We're not really able to get the gold dude up there, but that's not too tragic. Now here, just putting another one of these Molten Encasement dudes up there. Right now we have the problem that we cannot get repeated triggers off of these, but that's basically the quest now, to make this happen in a way. But there we go, with these guys we can clear the board, and now the stealth basically makes bosses really easy. If you can start stacking stealth in an easy way, that really helps out. Now, here, I kind of decide I want that hidden passage and not another Imp. And here, I'm not quite sure, none of these is really that good to me, but I'm gonna take that guy that I can summon and he dies immediately, so that's fine. And for the additional unit draft, there's nothing cool there as well. So here we're gonna go for the cave first, and this is cool because here we're choosing the Melting Remnant card, which is not really a good one here, so I'm skipping that one, and then everything collapses and I'm not able to get anything else. Ah well. Then for the artifacts, we're getting the Encased Ember. That's quite nice, plus 5 mana whenever one of these Encased Concealment guys dies. So, you know, not too bad. Now we're off to Talos, which is annoying. She's putting rage onto people, but with encasement technically, or with stealth, that is the manageable, but right now we do not have a stealther, so we set up on the second floor. Here we go, a whole bunch of dudes coming in. Now, yes, there's one of these imps. That's exactly the ones we need right now. Now here we can see at least one of them will die. We'll have to accept this for now. Also our queen on 1 health. The thing is, it's the build technically is not super focused on the champion, but right now the champion is the only one that deals damage in a decent fashion, so I have to kind of keep her alive for the most part. But so far we're able to do this, and here we go. We have 2 of these big guys right in front of us. Now we have to get the molten encasement guy right here, because otherwise we will be in trouble. Here I'm kind of debating what I should do. It's not quite sure, but yeah, just secure the top floor for the next turn, essentially. But there we go. With stealth we can just keep ourselves out of harm's way for the most part. And now, killing this guy is, well, not possible for us right now. What we can do here is put one of these guys in, and then behind the multi-striker to basically, together with that drag, clean the whole floor. Fortunately, that means this guy up here will get a 1 strike on our crystal, but that's not the end of the world. There we go. And now here comes Talos. Now, here we still have our last molten encasement guy. We have 3 of them right now. So, you know, could be worse. I'm trying to spam some damage already onto Talos down there. Here, getting rid of that medic. And then I'm evacuating my imp upstairs. So that's just a tiny bit more damage upstairs, because it will profit from stealth a little bit. So yeah, there you go. And here comes Talos, and it's 309 damage here. And if we put another drag on there, not quite, 339. So here I'm kind of debating, what am I supposed to do here? How are we doing this? Let's just see how far we get. Because, you know, she will get down quite low, but still 100 health, 111 health left. And that's because, again, you know, there's just not enough stealth stacking yet. So that's the problem that our deck has at the moment. So I'm gonna take a lot of damage here. Unfortunate. But we are gonna survive it. And not just that. Here we go. This is the moment where this deck goes from okay to good with the Remnant Pact, which allows us to give Endless to a unit. That's exactly what we need. And the next one is not really important for us. And here I'm getting the +1 space on each floor. And we're going over here for the Pyre health, of course, because we just took so much damage. And now here, Train Stewards gone and gone. And the Dark Forge, we're gonna give ourselves just a better rally trigger, because Imps is not really our playstyle. Alright, so now here I'm kind of torn, because I could either double the Remnant Pact, which would give me 2 packs and 3 of my concealment guys, or I could duplicate the encasement guys. And that's what I do. I get another encasement guy, because it's more important to just have one of them on the hand anyway. And then I'm like kind of curious what is in our how do you call this, the pact shop here. So I'm kind of looking around thinking, maybe piercing would be interesting, but nothing really funny here. And also not really anything too exciting to engage a pact with. Really. I mean, so, you know, just going further. Now with the Endless, at least I have a potential to get the stacking on. So that's what we're gonna try here. Spell Shield, you know, not too tragic for us. Here comes the queen. Unfortunately, we do not get a good start here. We get the pact, but we do not get a concealment. So it's not really worth using it here. So we're just gonna enrage our queen a little bit so we can at least deal with that heavy frontline dude. We'll get some weight of consciousness into our decks here, but you know, could be worse, I suppose. And here comes one of our concealment guys, and we can take care of these two with the imp. That double summoning artifact really is still helping us out, even at this stage. Now here we go. Another double damage. And down here we can also spam some more damage if we want to, or we could use this guy for multi-strike, but you know. We could also just do both. That's the beauty of it. We have so much space now and enough mana to do it, so we get both of these guys if we use the Ascend here and this Draft. So perfectly worked out. The Ascend, normally not a spell that I use too much, but here it kind of worked out for me. Now we're already on 115 damage because of Rally, so we're pretty much able to get every one of these. And now here I'm placing the concealment guys a bit back in hope to keep them alive until I get the Remnant Pact. And here is the Remnant Pact, a little bit late unfortunate, but maybe we can actually make this work. I'm just gonna put it on one of these guys anyway. Because, you know, even if we don't kill the boss here on the first floor, we should still be able to make him gone. But with 160 attack on our champion, we're pretty much in the game here. And look at that, we have 3 of them now that we can just put on the field. And every one of them just delays the boss attacking so much. And then he kills this guy, that's another 2 stealth delays, and then he gets to the next guy. So it really starts to become quite ridiculous. Now here, these cards, nothing really too impressive. I could have taken Impressive, but not too fun, honestly. Now here I have an idea. I take this this is Extinguish guy who summons 2 drafts, which are these multi-striker dudes. And I kind of took this with the mindset that I could maybe splice this onto one of our concealment dudes. So basically, that whenever the concealment guy dies, he basically also will summon 2 more units to strike out with. And that's what I create here, a Remnant Host with Molten Encasement. Pretty solid. And if we get the Endless onto this guy, it's gonna be absolutely fantastic. So that's the plan here, and with that we have a pretty secure situation already. Now of course there's a lot of good artifacts that can help us out here. And boom, there it is. Wax Snuffer extinguish triggers trigger twice now, which is insane. Now here we have a lot of upgrades as well. Again, I mean, I can put the Rage on this Draft. That makes him quite deadly when he comes into the game. And also putting Quick on it makes sure that he at least gets to knock out something whenever I summon him. So that's pretty decent. I'm feeling confident at this point. So let's see how that works. Now here we're actually having kind of like a mirror match because we're stealth versus stealth, which is something I've not really experienced before, so that's a bit interesting. Now with a lot of decks, the first problem is to get off basically the starting point and be able to get your champion or whatever is doing the killing strong enough. And here we leave this guy behind with 30 health. That's manageable, but if we summon some more guys now on the first floor, we will be able to get our champion strong enough. And yeah, there is our big boy, and you will see how crazy this is gonna be in a second here. Now here I'm just trying to summon a few more guys to take him down. That's successful. And now Witness. Unfortunately no Endless on him right now, but still. So yeah, he summons so many of these draft units until we cannot get any more, and he now puts 4 stealth onto our guys every time he dies. That's insane. And here we get our Remnant Pact, and that's basically game at this point, because it means that and here I make a bit of a mistake. I put the Endless on our multi-striker instead of on our on the stealth guy, but it technically works out as well. It's not that tragic, because this guy, every time he comes back, he basically deals 48 damage, which is pretty decent. But I should have put it on the Molten Encasement. It's something that I realized later, because it's kind of the first time I really play a stealth deck like that. It's very interesting, and it's a bit of a learning experience here. So here I decide, yes, let's put some more people on the first floor. But the thing is, as long as I can give my champion like 2 rounds of stealth, it will work, because she is so powerful. When we summon so many things, it's ridiculous. But these guys that actually get stronger with my monsters dying, they're a bit of a problem, because they're a bit hard to beat for me. So we'll take some hits here on our core, unfortunately. At least we can, you know, get this guy down a bunch, so he doesn't get to have 2 strikes on the core. Or actually not 3, but, you know, it is how it is. And now here comes the boss, and you can see with this setup already, that's already enough. It's kind of crazy, but you will see later on it gets even more ridiculous at some point. But yeah, there you go. So many stealths. And they just stare at each other because they cannot hit each other because of the stealth. It's kind of hilarious. But yeah, and now she able to attack again, but it's way too late. Easy peasy. Now here more Imps and March of Shields, both not really good. Now here, this is cool. I have the choice between more stealth in the Engulfed in Smoke or Crushing Demise, which would be interesting to kill off these strong guys, especially on the first few turns that I'm not able to get immediately, and that's what I end up taking here. That is very fortunate, because it's a very good card, to be honest. Now here I'm going to cleanse some more cards. The last 2 Terrain Stewards say goodbye. And then we obviously have the Concealed Caverns. Now here, this is, well, the gold guy, as I would like to call him. I don't want to clog up my deck with weird stuff, so I'm just end up taking the artifact, even if it's not that good. And here for the duplication, I wanted to duplicate the Remnant Toast, but I saw that it involves the currency, the special currency. So I'm now duplicating the Remnant Pact, and now I should be able to really, really make this work. So here we go, Fell. This is an annoying battle because of the statues, of course, so we do not really get to kill much unless you have imps like that, which just deal with the whole board for the start, and then just summoning stuff. And that already is enough to clear the statue on the first level, which is neat. And another cool thing here is I can just start clearing these statues just like that. And then we just summon more stuff, and that is enough to kill that big guy with the Encant trigger. That's the most annoying one. I mean, there's one that gets away, but hey, that is okay. We can deal with that. Just summon an imp and boom. Easy peasy. Now down here, again, we only get to the first guy right now, so I'm just summoning more stuff in here just to fill this board up and deal more and more damage, but unfortunately we're not quite able to chew through that front line yet. Which means these two again escape to the top floor. But yeah, look at that. We just drawn our big boy. And there it is. That's the combo. If you get that going, that's game. That's just game at there. Because that means every turn we get 4 stacks of stealth. And 4 of these drafts. And yeah, that is enough to chew through most things. It is quite insane, actually. It's really, really funny to do this tactic. And here we get another Crushing Demise, and we don't care about our imps, do we? So yeah, and now the game plan is just the same. Just summon stuff. And now here, a Remnant Pack on another one, because why wouldn't we? And then another Stealther. Now the cool thing is, if you can start giving your stealth guys stealth, that basically preserves them until the boss fight, which is really, really weird, but it works. So yeah, from here on out, it's basically the same game plan over and over again. Just boom, there he is. More. Now I should have summoned that behind the other guy, but you know, live and learn, right? But now our champion, look at that. So much attack, just one-shotting everything at this point, which is nice. And the Crushing Demise, because our deck is so small and most of our creatures are just gone, we basically draw it every turn now, which is a guaranteed kill every time something escapes. It's really interesting here. And yeah, I mean, the boss has no chance here. Our champion gets to attack like 10 times for free without anything Fel can do, and that's 2,200 damage just from her. You know, insane, absolutely insane. And here, these cards, well, none of these really fit into our deck, so I'm not gonna clog our deck up with more stuff. And now, here I want to just draw more cards to be able to, again, draw more into these Remnant Pacts and into the destruction spells. That's just the game plan here. So now, since we don't really want to purge that much anymore, there's some, the rail spikes here that give big power and purge, but none of these is really up my alley here. So, you know, not really worth taking for me. There's sometimes decks where you want stuff like that. You know, if you have like a super strong spell that you want for killing the last boss and you want to make sure it does, then you can do that, but, you know. And here, you know, plus 25 every time we summon something. That's gonna be fun. Now here we get the -1 mana, and I decided to put it onto the Crushing Demise here. You know, just so we don't have to worry about mana when we kill these the few creatures that escape our grasp. Especially in the battle like this, where the defenders are really strong. Or the attackers, rather. You can see 160 health on the first freaking floor, essentially. But yeah, perfect start. Boom. Nothing else needs to be done here. That is a perfect start. We just have to power her up well enough for the boss fight. That's all we need to do. The only unfortunate thing here is that these drafts that get summoned do not trigger the Champion's Rally effect, unfortunately, because they're probably because the summon is like summoned from hand per definition, so that doesn't trigger it. But yeah, otherwise it would be insane. Now here I have a few interesting options. I could just get this guy up one floor and kill him with an imp. That's nice, so we've spread out the danger a little bit. And I don't want to use the second Remnant Pack yet, because there's just honestly no use to it. Technically I could only use one, and that would be enough, but having two just increases my chances of drawing it, so that's why there's two. But yeah, and that's pretty much the game plan here. And there we go, just killing the guys that escape. We never have to worry about mana, because every time the frontliner there dies, we basically get 5 mana. So every turn we will have enough mana. by a long shot. And we have already 9 stealth stacks on our champion there. Soon to be 10, and that's again about 2000 damage that the boss cannot do anything about. That's just gonna happen, no chance there. Now, the problem here, of course, is I don't have trample or anything, so we still only get through one of the frontliners, and this guy escapes. But again, because we have the crushing spell, the crushing demise, we can just frickin' do that every time, or we can just summon this guy to take care of him. We can do whatever we want here. If we get this guy up, the double striker and the molting him just will take care of that as well. Easy. I could have put the Endless on the multi-striker draft there, but you know, it is not needed at this point. 15 stealth stacks now, and the boss is gonna come up right now. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the end here for the boss. That's about 3000 damage from the champion. A bit more now even. That is not... just... you cannot answer that. Not even close. And now here we just ascend one of our units so we can summon one more for an additional trigger of the rally there. But you know, it is pretty much over. And every time the frontline guy dies, there's these drafts that come in and deal a little bit more damage. It's just a nice combo that we have going. And here we have, you know, the Inferno could be an interesting spell just to get through units, but only on the floors that where my champion isn't on, because I don't really want to destroy my champion. And the others, I mean, worth it maybe, but I think the piercing is just too good. And there's another crushing demise there. So we have now options galore to deal with enemies escaping. And here, getting my pyre help up to maximum. And here I decide to upgrade the other crushing demise to 0 cost. And then here I'm doing a little bit of an error, because I decided to get rid of the Inferno, and then I realized, oh, I had a Vortex. I could have done that for free, but hey, there you go. And here I'm just trying to get another interesting artifact here, but none of these is that good. I mean, Light's Gift is okay, so I'm getting it. Reroll, and nothing too much. I mean, friendly units and with Rage 3 is okay, I suppose. Gain +5 gold when a unit dies. That kind of works with our other artifact that we have that makes our pyre stronger, so that's our preparation for the end, essentially, here. And I'm just looking if I want to purge anything else. But really, there's not that much. I mean, one of these dregs, because we don't need that many of them. But yeah, there we go. And there is our end boss, Seraph the Patient. So this is the guy, whenever you summon or cast a spell on his floor, he will just get stronger. But that's the beauty about Stealth. Stealth doesn't care about attack power, it just cares about how many times you attack. So it doesn't matter if he has 1000 strengths every time he attacks. Every time he attacks, he just gets 1 stealth stack off. So that's why this deck works so freaking well. So here we lose our first concealment, but that's fine. We'll hopefully draw into our combo, and we kind of do. It's not our super special concealment guy that we draw, but you know, it's at least something. So here I'm kind of debating what I should play. There comes the multi-striker, and if I should put the pact already on one of these molten encasements, and I think, yeah, no, let's not. Let's just not. We'll wait for the proper combo, which just floats into our hand right now. There it is. Endless, and that is GG. Pretty much. I just now have to summon more and more units, and in the end, I will just get exactly what I need here. And the cool thing is I'm already strong enough to kill these high level guys there. Now if there's 2 of them, of course, we can quite easily just wait until next or the turn after that and just use the Crushing Demise to kill everybody that has escaped. Easy peasy. But yeah, Trample would have been the only thing that we could have added here that maybe would have been able to make this deck even better. Trample on the champion would have been able to clear every floor without problem. Now here, sneaky trick, get that guy on the top floor and boom. That's the kind of nice thing, this Ascent spell. During this playthrough I really got to love that Ascent spell. I kind of avoided it before, but I kind of see the worth of it now, which is nice, you know. But yeah, now we just continue with our game plan here. But you can see now we failed to draw our host for up there, which means this guy will be wailing on our Pyre Crystal, but it's not tragic, at least not much, because, you know, he will not kill it. He will not get it down too much, so it is okay. I'll just leave it like that. And we're piling on the stealth just as you're supposed to. And the thing is, because of the gold, our Pyre now is really strong, so he can easily deal with stuff like that. It's kind of nice. Hidden Passage, so I'm kind of debating where I should use this, but then I realize, yeah, just kill this guy, then Hidden Passage, kill the second guy. Easy, that's the beauty. That's really the beauty about this whole operation here. It really works so well with this deck. Doesn't matter what the enemy throws at you here, it just doesn't get through. And yeah, with every unit that dies, basically our Pyre gets a little bit more attack. It's kind of interesting, the way this plays out. And here, this guy, I mean, we can just do this, and he will be gone. And then just making some space with the Ascent and summon more stuff, and there, you know, why not put Endless on this guy as well, right? And the beauty of this is, of course, even with sweeping attacks, it only can hit units that are not in stealth. So I really think stealth is one of the strongest mechanics in the game. As long as you can get your stealth on, there's nothing the enemy can do about it. Because the only thing that actually is good to counteract stealth is maybe spikes works and spells, and the enemy doesn't cast spells. And I've never seen enemies with like obsessive amounts of spikes. So yeah, there you go. Easy victory there. Pretty nice. And that's actually the first time I've beaten Remnant 1. Which is kind of special. I love it. So this was the first run. And then this was like, I think at 2 in the morning. And then after I woke up on the same day again, later, I basically went on it again, and as you can see, the starting here with the Molten Encasement, it's kind of, again, okay, I can see where this is going. Now we have a different champion here. We have Rector Flicker, which is kind of cool, because his Dark Calling basically means every time you earned the turn, he will reform to units that died. So that's the way you get back your concealment. And then we start also off again with that artifact that gives us 5 mana every time one of these tomb unit dies. So, you know, that's nice. Good start already. So we basically, the problem that we had in the last run, we already solved here pretty much. And then also you can see there the Fatal Melting is also in our deck, which is like a damage source. So this deck is gonna be kind of the same as before, but it works a tiny bit more different because we have a lot more spell damage in it. I mean, Rector Flicker in the end will also deal a little bit of damage, but honestly, it is not really him that deals too much damage, because especially right now in the start, he does the reforming, but he doesn't get any bigger. So we have to get that damage from somewhere else, and you will see later on that is actually a bit of a problem in the early game that we have. It's pretty much like the other way around in this playthrough. I had a bit of trouble early on, but then in the late game everything fell into place. While in the other run it was just exactly the other way around. Now, the only thing that I have going for me here is that I already have the combo, essentially. And then there's another Molten Encasement, which is kind of funny. You could all question, do you need to? And my answer to that is, yeah, why not? And then I get some direct damage spells here with the Crypt Builder and Titan's Gratitude, but I don't want to discard stuff, so Crypt Builder it is, just for getting rid of certain things, kind of like as a replacement to the Crushing Demise. But yeah, there you go, and that's why I already go right into spell upgrading. And I want to get Fatal Melting down to a little bit less mana cost. And I decide Crypt Builder is basically our hammer to tackle everything that gets away, so that's why we put the Consume and plus 20 spell power on it, just to be able to deal with whatever escapes. Now here the enemies, not really too much trouble here, but again the big thing is right now that we don't have too much power in our creatures to begin with. But yeah, we'll just summon away, and then once we get our Molten Encasement guys going, it will work quite nicely. Now, what you have to kind of watch out with this deck is that you don't kill more units per turn that you can actually get back with Rector Flicker, because if you do, it basically means that you will run into a situation where you might not get your Molten Encasement back. So that's kind of a problem, and you have to be careful. Now this is, maybe you would say this is a little bit of a waste, but I wanted to make sure that everything dies up there. So yeah, it might have been that during that run I might have misclicked it and realized, oh, I trusted, but yeah, there you go. And here you can see the problem. We do not deal too much damage to the big guy. Even with the two concealment guys, it's just not quite enough. Fortunately, I have a lot of mana and you can just start to absolutely smack him. And then on the second level, we still have a concealment guy. So that works, which is nice. But still, it is the problem that plagues us in the early game here. Just not enough power. Basically, what I'm looking for is to get to the second Dark Forge, which will give us the next upgrade for Rector Flicker, which might give us a Harvester, which is basically a buff. Whenever something dies, he will get stronger, which is exactly what we need. Now here, I'm not quite sure what I should take, so I don't want to like clog up the deck too much, so I'm just getting a bit of gold. Now what I'm also doing, I'm kind of hunting for artifacts, because I do want that double extinguish trigger again. The Lost Luggage is kind of cool because it pretty much guarantees you the opening hand to be so good, you know, that you don't really need to worry about. And here I get either Blazing Bolts, Umbra Stone, and Kindle. So here's the Trample, but we don't really have a good creature for it. And I'm kind of looking at this and I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe sometimes we want to play a lot of things, especially if we have like 10 cards in our opening hand. So Kindle in the opening hand would actually make a lot of sense. I'm kind of debating, should I get this? And then I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do this. And none of these artifacts are really that good, so I get this +3 magic power for our spells that we're using. Not optimal, but you know, good enough. Here we go. Against Talos the Architect. Now here is our opening hand, quite a lot of stuff, and there we go, just using Flicker to get up to 6 mana and be able to toss everything out, everything that we need. And we're starting off with a lot of these creatures, but I'm also just executing all of these guys, just so we can set up and start, you know, to not just having our board flooded with creatures from the start. There we go, so we get the concealment guy here to stealth. And there it reforms again. So we're already locked in the cycle, which is nice. We just need to be able to put out enough damage here. That's the most important part. Of course, the difference with Rector Flicker's reforming as to Endless, you know, as in comparison. When you reform a unit, it gets burnout, which means it will die after one turn. So it doesn't matter if you summon it in on an empty board, it will die again. Which is actually kind of nice, because it will trigger regardless if it's getting hit by an opponent or not. But it means you cannot really stack them too well. You know, you cannot give stealth to another in case it's concealment. And just keep that there, because it will have burnout most of the time. It will also get a little bit more life, which is interesting because it makes them more tanky, so maybe that offsets it a little bit. It's kind of weird, because this was technically kind of the same game plan, the same game mechanic, but this game felt a little bit different. And here now, with so many units died already, we start to feel the power of a Fatal Melting. It deals so much damage already. It's quite nice. But now here you also see the problem. We have a lot of units in our graveyard, and we do not get the ones that we need here. That's the problem here. We did not get our concealment guy, so now we're a bit stuck here. And this is the moment where I'm like thinking, this run might actually be over here. I don't know, because now we don't even get our concealment guys back, but with the +3 spell power, we at least have a little bit more oomph here, you know? And this is one of the reformed guys. He also comes with a little bit more power. He's on 134. Now here we go. It's a bit more damage. And a bit more. Down to 24, so manageable. Down to 19. Could have been worse. But yeah, that is... You can see the problem there. Rector Flicker just isn't strong enough, but is basically the moment where we can kind of alleviate this. And here I'm taking the Ice and Pyre again as like an emergency spell to be able to kill things. And here, the Wickless Baron. He is a guy with Harvest, and then subsequently we take the more space because we need to be able to put Rector Flicker, the Wickless Baron, and our concealment onto one floor. So that's why we do this. And now getting my Pyre health back. And I definitely need to start purging these Train Stewards, because if I summon them and they die, they will, get in the way of the reformant, so that's annoying. And now here is what I mean, the accumulator upgrade. Harvest, it's only +1 power and +3 health, but it is at least a little bit of a growth of our champion, so that's what we need. And now here, a Fatal Melting down to 0 mana, so we can just toss it out whenever we feel like it. And the Ice and Pyre also with a Consume upgrade and a lot more power. And now here I'm thinking, I think I need to enhance my guy a little bit. And I was wondering, can I sacrifice one of these guys into the same unit, essentially? You know, so that basically the bonus of this unit onto another Molten Encasement. And it definitely works. So basically this guy, whenever he dies, he does the same effect twice. So we kind of worked around the fact that we don't have this one artifact that doubles our Extinguish triggers. And if we would find it later on, we would even be on a better level. So here is the basic setup. These two guys, plus even the exact dude that we need here. Now the problem with this setup is that early on, we will not have enough damage to actually deal with most of these guys. But you can see, whenever something dies here, both of these guys get a little bit of power. Just a little bit. And every time one of these Molten Encasement dies, or at least the Super Molten Encasement here, he gives 4 stealth. So that's pretty neat. So here we just have to kind of deal with these guys up here, and some of these will start to escape us because we're just not ready yet. That's a bit of a problem. Our motor is not revving up too fast. That's really the problem here. You can see they're kind of getting bigger now. Soon they will be able to kill the first guy. Well, if he wouldn't have like 60 armor, that is. But yeah, there you go. And here we're just tossing out a few more spells to try at least get this big dude down as much as we can, but he is a beast. Same with this frontliner here. And they don't even do enough damage to kill our molten encasement there, which does not means that we don't even trigger a harvest. It's kind of a bummer. Now here I'm kind of thinking, who do I use this on? I could kill a few of those, and I'm just deciding, yeah, you know what, we have to use all of this. We have to make all of this work. And here I will have to toss even more stuff on it, and I finally get him down. Close, but Jesus Christ. And then one of these guys down, and the final fatal melting, dealing a little bit more damage to the bottom line there, but yeah. Again, just one death here, so the harvest is not that bountiful, but at least the burnout triggers another one. So yeah, that is basically the game plan as you can see it here, but it's just also you can see why it is susceptible to things. Because it's just, you know, I don't have too much power. That's really the biggest thing. Now I do have like 7 stealth there, but that's only about 40 damage per stealth stack. So I have to work with all these spells to make this work. Right now it is enough, but I feel kind of not safe yet. That is the big problem here. Also we have a spiker here, so that could mess us up, but whenever something dies we also get more health, so that's fine. But you can see the damage is kind of pathetic if you compare it with our previous deck. It takes a whole bunch longer to kill a boss like this, and imagine if this boss had 2000 health, it wouldn't work, you know that. Now here we get a Remnant Host, so I'm kind of tempted to go for the same combo again, but then I see the knife, and that knife is actually a really nice spell, because we can use it in several different ways. And also, of course, that knife is pretty cool because it basically gets bigger every time you use it. So it doesn't just get better for the match, it gets better for the whole run. So for every time we kill something with it, it gets a little bit more power. We copy our Fatal Melting, just for a little bit more burn spell damage. And here we go. Let's try and make this work. Now, this is a cool start, kinda, because we can at least kill something, but of course this is an annoying level, because you can see this big guy over there, he also gets stronger. He gets 10 armor whenever something dies, so he's almost kind of counteracting our strategy here, which is really annoying. So this is problematic situation for us. And here you can see one of the useful things of this knife card. We can kill our old molten encasements with it and trigger harvests with it, get the stealth. It is really, really, really useful. So yeah, summoning some more stuff just to get more of these harvest triggers. I know it makes their guys stronger as well, but we need our 2 damage dealer there to be as strong as possible and as quickly as possible. Good thing we have Ice and Pyre, because that allows us to deal with all these spells. Excellent for this purpose. Just throwing out some more spells just to make that kill. There we go. We basically get 4 power whenever something dies on this floor. So we have to kind of keep an eye out. Now here we have 2 Fatal Meltings. That's 48 damage in total if we play them both. Pretty sweet. So here we go. 1, 2. Now here I can use the Subsuming Blade to kill the blocker. Now, unfortunately, I do not have enough mana for the Crypt Hammer, or the Crypt Builder, rather. So I just have to toss out a few more things here to hopefully kill it. But it's gonna definitely escape to the upper floors. So the spells really are there to kind of prevent our deck of, you know, failing early on. That's exactly what this deck does. Here I bring him down low enough for the blade. Now there's a 74 help dude up there that I'm pretty much unable to kill at this point, unfortunately. So I'm just getting rid of this guy and focus on the boss. Yeah, that's painful, but there you go. Now this guy already is dead, but we can just toss a few more things into its face, because that's funny, isn't it? Yeah, look at that. So much damage. With so much spells that deal damage, these 3 spell powers start to feel quite powerful, actually. But yeah, you can see it's quite of a slugfest still. So there's still a bit missing here, I feel. But here is another interesting card. Memento Mori. This is the other card that cares about how many creatures have died in the battle. And this is basically more damage, but only on the first creature. So we have now mass damage and single target damage, which is quite nice. Now here I'm kind of rooting for artifacts, but also the improved flashbox gives us basically a guaranteed good turn 1. And here I get interesting the Pyre Stone housing for an extra unit upgrade slot. But that's not really that worth it. So I'm just trying to... I'm basically trying to get that other artifact again that gives us double extinguish triggers again. But I don't seem to find it, unfortunately. So yeah, but I'm just checking. Do I have anything cool I could be fusing? But not really. So here's, again, Fel. Now, Fel is going to be also a little bit annoying because the statues are actually really hard for us to deal with. Pretty much. It is really annoying. So what I kind of think here is, why don't we just kill the top statue and summon our guys up top? And then I'm like, you know, let's do Kindle and for some reason get 18 mana and then just use all our spells, clear the second floor and make our home there. I could have also cleared the first floor now that I'm thinking of it. But, you know. And then I'm starting actually to clear the first floor. Fatal Melting does 3 damage because of the spell power. Even nothing has died yet, but you know. Here we go. Now, there is the Subsuming Blade. It already deals 20 damage now. So we use it to kill a bit more here and just get more damage onto it until it's so strong that it can kill most things that are a threat to us. That's the plan. And here we got our Molten Encasement going already. So yeah, we have a good amount of stuff we can do. Memento Mori already deals 13 damage, even though only a few units have died. So I'm trying to get this top guy out of the game. It's kind of difficult. Subsuming Blade takes care of this dude. So I'm just trying to bring it down to so low that it doesn't deal too much damage to our Pyre. You know, damage mitigation really. And here, this is a bit of a problem now, because we didn't get the one Molten Encasement guy back that we wanted, but, you know, at least we we still have one of them on our level there. And now here, this is enough to fortunately kill the guy. I'm killing my own Molten Encasement just to power up the spell a bit more. And trigger Harvest, of course, and there we get at least one of our standard encasements back. And now here comes the full program again with the Fatal Meltings, which already deal 21 damage per use. This one, 63 on a single target, so pretty powerful at this point. Unfortunately, couldn't use the blade again, but you know, that's the thing. If I don't get a tomb unit to die every turn, it basically means that I don't have too much mana. But there we go, another kill with it, just powering it up as we go along, killing everything that's in our path. Very nice. So far, we seem to have it under control here now. Again, not too much damage on our champion and the other creature, but at least it's something. And here I'm just tossing out everything to deal damage to Fel beforehand, before she's coming in. Which is, I think, right now. Yes, there she is. So, stack a bit more of these stealth triggers onto us. We can do it like that, quite easy, and then just trying to get rid of this guy. There we go. That means another harvest trigger. So right now we have a power of 56 on that floor. That's not a lot, but it's just enough to get Fel down, especially with the spells here. But there, again, you can see how long it takes to actually kill her, because of the power level of our two dudes. It's so low that it just takes forever. So we kind of have to work around that now. So here we get the Remnant Pact. So we have another ability to basically get our dudes back, but I'm thinking, yeah, we don't need that really. So just, you know, getting that out of the way, and more card draw is always good, especially in a deck like this. And now here comes the important part. More artifacts for us. You can see I'm really looking for these artifacts. Nothing here. Well, this +3 burnout every time we play something with it is okay, I suppose. And here we just get the better harvest. Now we at least get 2 attack every time something dies and a lot of health. Now there, just a reroll to try and get something here at least. The resin block is pretty okay, and the Sinner's Salve, I'm just, you know, I'm like, I don't want to get flooded with like these purge cards, because we cannot deal with the monsters early on, so it might be a good idea to get it, and you will see it actually is a good idea to get it. I'm kind of thinking maybe one of our spells could use the Twin Stone, you know, the Blade for example, but then it decide against it. Here we go in our second Lost Battle. And I'm kind of debating if I should activate Spikes, but it probably would do really bad for our 2 Harvesters. So here, looking at our starting hands, decent enough. Molten Encasement, at least the normal one. And then the Subsuming Blade gets another kill here. And with the Crypt Builder, we can at least deal a little bit of damage here. Enough to make this guy go away. There we go. Now every time something dies, you get an additional 5 power on the floor. That's pretty decent. And here now, even though it's not much damage, you know, use it, right? These are the free Fatal Meltings. Use it every time. Alright, now this guy is a bit of a trouble house, but boom, Piercing deals with that very easily. And now, Memento Mori. I'm kind of thinking, where should I play this? Maybe on top might be enough. Let's see. Down to 10. Alright. Well, the top floor will be able to deal with that. That's nice. And here I will get my first card into my hand here, that I'm quite glad that I did take that artifact, even though I do have enough mana, but still, it's kind of annoying having to deal with these things, you know? Fatal Melting already starts to deal decent damage at this point. And every turn it's gonna be a little bit more. Now we still cannot deal with these guys, and then this dude comes in. 100 freaking health, 130 armor, that's insane. But we do already deal 110 damage to him on this floor, so I kill my own dude with the blade. Just to get a bit more harvest going on. And then I'm trying to deal with this guy up here. But I really feel like I should get this guy down ASAP, like right now. And there you can see we just are able to get him down just about. But that still leaves that 160 health guy right behind him. Unfortunate, but yeah, there you go. Not much to do about that. But we still have the cool, the Ice and Pyre spell to deal with one of the more annoying guys. Now this 20 health dude, easy pickings. And then just start to spam more spells onto this fella. Now here comes the boss. And he's already dead by this point. You know, just with the amount of damage we deal. And another kill for the Subsuming Blade. Really getting big now. It's almost at, I think, 50 damage at this point. Which kills most enemies. But yeah, there you go. So many hits we have to do every time. It's really insane. And here you can see Crushing Demise coming in as well. Now we are really set. None of these is really good, so we'll skip. And now there you go. You have another artifact that we can get there. Hopefully it is the one that we are looking for. Spoilers, it's not gonna be the one we're looking for. I was really annoyed with this run, because if we would have gotten the double extinguish trigger on this run, that would have been insane. But, yeah, you know, there you go. Get a bit more spell power, base spell power on the Subsuming Blade, so pushing it just over 50. And here we go. Not really good artifacts, so reroll. And the Forgotten Name would have been okay. But, you know, we end up taking the flag, giving us more mana without an X spell to really take advantage of it, unfortunately. So, yeah, there you go. And here I'm kind of looking, what should I duplicate? I could duplicate this guy, and I'm just deciding, you know, I feel so confident. I'm taking all the challenge now that I can get and see how hard this is gonna get. So yeah, there we go. Here we have Seraph the Temperate. So friendly units enter with Sap 3. Which makes our two Harvester guys even worse. So we really have to use our spells here in a clever way. And here I'm kind of doing a little bit of a mistake because I'm killing a lot of these units without even summoning our guys. This could have been 3 summon trigger each, but for some reason I didn't do it. It's really weird. I'm not quite sure why I did that, but there you go. And here comes more sap on everybody, so you can see the Wickless Baron is on 0 frickin' attack at this point, so we really do not deal a lot of damage here. So we're gonna have to use a lot of spells to make this go away. And the power will come from the units that are dying on our side, so we really have to throw a lot of units into the enemy's way here, just to power ourselves up. But fortunately, of course, we do have a lot of good cards here to deal with these guys. And now we even have 2 of these 4 stealth encasements. Quite insane. And here already 9 damage on each of these fatal meltings. So we're starting to rack up the power. But you know, this guy will get 1 floor further up with 29 health left. That's pretty decent. Now this guy, on the other hand, he is a problem. We'll have to bomb him away with a Crushing Demise if we draw one. And we absolutely do. Boom. And that also kills one of our units, which makes Memento Mori stronger. And the deck really starts to kind of enable itself at this point now, which is really nice. And the spell power that we have accumulated so far really works out well here. But yeah, that sap is still a big problem. Wickler Spire on 11 freaking power. That is not much. So right now, everything that we're killing is gonna get killed via spells, pretty much. But yeah, there we go. 21 damage. Already on the melting. Nice. Just toss everything into this dude. The blade on one of our own encasements. And finally we start to deal a little bit of damage here. Get our two big boys back. And there we have drawn another Crushing Demise, which is very good if we can play this in a smart way, which is not the smartest application up there. But you know, that means we can use the rest of the spells on the lower levels here. Just get this guy out of the way. Now over 60 damage on that blade. Really getting tasty here. Memento Mori already on 83. And it's getting more every turn. It's pretty nice. Now, Seraph hasn't really taken that much damage yet. I think he has taken 0. He's on 2,300 health still, so that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but there you go. Crushing Demise, because it kills one of our units as well, and that's what we want. 36 on Fatal Melting. Nice, nice, nice. Just slapping all these units on. Doesn't matter who dies and who lives, as long as the two harvesters are alive harvesting, that's all we need. And here's the final wave, and you can see Seraph only loses 2,168 health. So here, killing our own concealment dude raises this up, and there we go. That is enough, but of course we have to throw out all our spells here, because why wouldn't we? Getting more mana through this, and boom. That is it. I don't know which of these two runs honestly was the better one. The first one felt a little bit more secure in the end. This one was a bit more of a fight, but this one was definitely more interactive and more fun with all the crazy spells we threw around. But yeah, look at how much of a beating Seraph needs to take here. He even gets through all our stealth. It's kind of crazy, but we managed to beat him. So that's the second time I've beaten Covenant 1. And I think I'm going to do some more Covenant Run ones just to get comfortable with the deck and with the different kind of ideas, with the given kind of strategies that we can use. But yeah, that was two pretty solid runs with a unified theme, Stealth, which I really think is one of the best mechanics. Stealth is so solid. If you can trigger it over and over again and have a strong damage source to protect, I guess it would also work with like Umbra, who could just power, you know, get more power with freaking morsels feeding one of your guys. The problem, of course, is if you place a Molten Encasement in front, then it's the Molten Encasement that gets fed. Unless it dies before the end of the turn, which is kind of what we want. So it might be worth trying if I can get it going. But yeah, there you go. That was the two stealth runs today. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.